Have you ever felt a place watching you? Like the trees had eyes and the wind carried whispers? If not, listen closely. This isn't just a story. It's a warning. My family owns a house in a remote village, buried deep inside a shadowy valley. The road to get there is cracked, unpaved, and lined with trees so lifeless they look carved from bone. As you approach, the air thickens. It's not just silence. It's pressure, an invisible weight you carry on your chest. Ever since I was a child, I heard whispers from the adults, dark stories I was too young to understand. But as I grew up, I started seeing things for myself. Things no child should ever see. Pushpin before we dive deeper. If you love real horror and true paranormal stories, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon. You don't want to miss what's coming next. What makes this house truly disturbing is that it was built on top of an old graveyard. And not a covered one either. Only certain parts of the home are roofed: the kitchen, bathroom, and bedrooms. The rest is open, like an unfinished skeleton. Anyone walking by could just step in. No locks, no barriers, just open space. In that valley, sickness isn't seen as a medical problem. It's something else. If someone falls ill, the first assumption isn't a virus. It's demonic possession. That's the culture there and now. I understand why. When I was a kid, I didn't grasp it, but I'm starting to connect the dots now. Memories, whispers, strange rituals. The way some family members talk in hushed tones about things no normal person should understand. There's something we were never meant to know. Something hidden behind the silence and the shadows. If you've ever been somewhere that felt wrong, not just spooky, but truly evil, you might understand what I mean. Every visit to my grandparents' house brought something new, paranormal things that still haunt me. One time, I saw an old woman sitting in the living room chair facing the TV. Everyone else was asleep. She never moved, never blinked, just sat there. No one else saw her. But I know she was real, because I felt her eyes on me. Ghost, if this story is sending chills down your spine, give this video a like. It helps more horror lovers find us, and fuels more chilling content just like this. That wasn't the only figure. There were others. One woman with long, twisted hair who'd appear behind the rooms. Another, older, who haunted the bathroom, always sitting in a rotting wooden chair. They never spoke. They never interacted. They just existed, like echoes of something long dead, but not forgotten. We never knew why they were there, or worse, what they wanted. Even electronics weren't safe. The old TV in the open room used to change volume by itself. One evening, we heard it turn on while we were sitting outside. My mom looked in and saw a small child. He was turning the knobs, laughing quietly. But when she entered the room, he vanished. Completely gone. No sound. No trace. We checked every corner. He didn't exist. Then came the creature. My aunts had just finished cleaning the kitchen. They stepped outside to breathe, and from a tree leaning over the kitchen wall, something descended. Something not human. Its skin was dark, cracked like burnt wood. It moved with a limp and crawled through a closed window like it wasn't even there. It stayed only seconds, but the mess it left behind was a clear sign. It had been there, and it wasn't done. Paw prints love eerie tales that mess with your head. Tap that subscribe button and join our haunted community. Snakes, geckos, cats that weren't cats. The animals were always strange. One black cat with white patches stood out. It didn't flinch, didn't meow, and only ate puffcorn and juice, like a child, not a pet. It even used the toilet. And one cat, pure black, never left my grandparents' bedroom, no matter what, as if it was guarding something or someone. But the voices were the worst. They'd call your name when no one else was awake. My mom once went to wake a driver early in the morning. She knocked, and a voice replied, "What do you want?" People are sleeping. It wasn't the driver. She knew it. She ran back home, heart pounding, eyes wide with fear. She still can't talk about that moment without trembling. The spirits in that house weren't peaceful. If they got angry, they'd throw small stones. Warnings. Gentle taps that meant, leave. And in that village, people knew better than to ignore the signs. We're just getting started. If you've had similar encounters or want more real haunted stories, drop a comment below. We're building a community of believers. Eventually, the whispers became louder. we learned the truth. My grandmother, yes, my grandmother was one of them, a practitioner of dark magic. Not for healing, not for peace, for harm. Her eldest son followed in her footsteps. It was passed down like a family recipe, only this one was written in blood. They didn't chant spells. They didn't use wands. This wasn't fantasy. It was real. They used sacrifices, blood rituals, pain, a darker kind of faith, one that fed off fear and control. My grandfather suffered. So did my uncle, all in the name of black magic. Even now, some of them still live there. But things are changing. The animals are disappearing. Dogs, livestock, even the insects are quieter. And the air, it's heavier, like the house is holding its breath. If you're watching this late at night, say a prayer. For the dead, for the living, for the ones who never had a choice. And hit that like button to keep their stories alive. We haven't returned in nearly a decade. We've found spiritual ways to protect ourselves. We pray. We avoid that place. But I still wonder, what are those entities? Where do they come from? And what do they want? No one deserves to be dragged into darkness by someone else's evil. Some victims have faces we know. Others have names never spoken. And you? If you've made it this far, thank you. You're part of this story now. Stay safe. Stay awake. Subscribe for more terrifying truths. Because this world is darker than you think.